Even from the relative safety of Sweden, it's been painful and heartbreaking to watch what the Ukrainian people has been subjected to by a totalitarian regime of Vladimir Putin. I know it's not much, but my heart is with you, and I hope to be able to visit your country, hopefully play a few shows in a free and independent Ukraine as soon as possible, as soon as the occupants have been kicked out. Until then, glory to Ukraine. Okay, let's see how this go. I'm really not used to doing interviews like this. Usually it's a back and forth thing, but now it's just like a one-way communication. So let's see how entertaining I can make it. And I've got some questions that I've read through already. That doesn't mean that I necessarily thought about them that often, and I actually can't really remember all of them. However, let me just say that, I mean, they're very deep, and I'm just a musician. I'm an idiot, which doesn't necessarily separate me from most people out there. We're all idiots, and it's my opinion, which is more or less well educated, but I try to keep myself fact-based. But when it comes down to like these bigger issues, it's just my opinion. It's not more valid than anyone else's. But anyway, you asked, so I'm gonna repeat the questions that I have one by one, and I'll try to answer them as good as I can. Even though now when I'm reading them, I mean, they're pretty rough, hard ones. Okay, so question one. Can music change anything else in the world of horror? So how I understand that is that can music change anything in this horrific world that we're living in right now? And I mean, I am from a punk background where at least I thought that music could change the world in the bigger picture. Unfortunately, I'm getting older and more cynical, which is kind of sad in a way. I mean, I know firsthand that music can be a big part of personal change. I mean, how you get into subcultures and which in itself can change how you perceive things and all that. So on a personal level, I can say firsthand, yes, it can change. And society in the world is made up of different individuals just like me. So yeah, in theory, music can change things. It definitely can comfort people and take people through rough times, but it can't stop bullets. Not in the real world, and it can also and it can change things, but it necessarily can't. It doesn't. Well, we change. Oh, sorry, you have to live with all this computer sounds. I think that it doesn't. Changing stuff doesn't necessarily mean it's a good change. It can change things for the worst, for worse too. I mean, look at the Nazi movement, which basically is, well, at least like the Nazi skinhead movement. It was also very much based in their form of horrible Nazi punk music. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's good change, but yeah, I mean the question was if it could change. So yeah, on a video level, but I don't think it does much good in the bigger picture. I don't know. Maybe it answered your question. Maybe it didn't, but I made a try. Okay, second question. Why do you go on tours? What does it give you? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Why do we go on tours? It has changed through the years. When I started touring back in maybe earlier than that, we toured Sweden, 98, maybe 97. Anyway, when I did start touring the like Europe and in 99, it was we just played squats. It was with another band at that time. We played squats and just was very, very, very low budget, very DIY and punk. And it was, of course, for the big adventure. It had nothing to do with record sales, had nothing to do with anything else than just being able to play music in front of people you normally wouldn't play in front of. So, and I think that kind of stuck to me. Touring, one of the main incentives for me to tour has been to see the world, like to experience things. That's why I always try, like if I'm at the problem with touring is that you see a lot. You see very little of a lot. You just drive by things, and I try to when we go to when we play Rome, I try to see the Colosseum. When we I try to see and experience things, and I see life as just this possibility of different experiences and experience different cultures and talk to people and all that. So that has always been a big incentive for me to tour. Apart from the obvious part, I mean, it's also been like, it's just a natural part of writing music and doing music. You sit home writing an album, and then you record the album, then you release the album, and then you tour, and then you do it over again. It's just a thing that you just do. And one thing that I've realized, and one thing that have changed in me is that for the last, 10 years, is that it become more of a job than a privilege, if you understand what I mean. It's more of a day by day, you go to work, do your thing over and over again, and not just like, oh fuck, we're on tour, we are able to do this, which has its pros and cons, because you definitely take it way more seriously, and I think that we have improved as a band for the last 10 years, for sure. But you come home with way less tour stories. It's just a day at the office, basically. That's that part. Another part, which is basically the most important part, because 22 hours of each day on tour is pretty boring. The 2 hours, well, we're not on stage for 2 hours, but like 2-3 hours when we get to experience the audience and you do it together, do a show together. And that's, when I've lost the interest in touring for the sake of touring, what has compensated it has been the contact with the audience. And somebody just asked me just the other day that my attitude has changed and I've been more inclusive with the audience. And when did that happen? Like, I don't know. It just happened. I guess it's just one of the aspect of playing live that I might have not appreciated as much as I should have in the past. And now I try to suck it in as much as possible, the love and the thing that we experience with the audience, and like the last tours have been amazing. Okay, moving on to question 3. Life is like cinema and cinema is like life. Your thoughts on this? Actually, I don't agree. Yeah, I work with cinema, with film, with different aspects of film. I do a lot of stuff, but that's one of the things that I do. Well, I think that the medium of film, and I'm not saying everything. I mean, I don't want to put any limits on art and stuff like that, but I think that film, at least the films that I appreciate, is films that take you away from the reality and give you an hour and a half, 2 hours, like just escapism from your day-to-day life. It should, and so yeah, I'm more of a fan of more what do you say without it's a hard question, but I mean, films and stories that are extraordinary, that are not a part of reality. I kind of, I mean, there's some great films that have been made with a realistic feel and realistic touch, but I'm a bigger fan of the more larger than life stories, and things that just you can do stuff that you shouldn't be able to do in real life. I know this is just me babbling around, but it was a hard question. It's a quote that I could have said I don't agree with it, but that was my long way of saying that. How does art help people today? But how does it kill them? A bit of a weird question too. Not a weird question. It's hard to understand. I don't know how art helped people today. I can only speak for myself, and I think that art is some. I mean, obviously, people are need art. We need the escapism, even though we are in dire situations. I mean, more so than ever, I think, when the world is going to hell. We need, even though it's very okay. Look, even though it's very important to focus on the bigger problem here. I mean, we're probably gonna touch on some of the problems that are more important right now, especially for the people of Ukraine, but also the people of the world when it comes to climate change and bigger problem with wars and stuff like that. Of course, we need to be able to focus on the real problems of the world and for regions, countries, and all that. However, not taking your mind off it will make you fucking mad. And that I'm 100% sure of. We need the escapism. Like every now and then, like I've been able to do what I love throughout my life. I've been working with music. I've been working with film, theaters, all that. And I've said to like friends that work in healthcare and like that really saves people's lives. Like fuck, I'm so jealous of you guys that actually do things that change people's lives. You save people and yada yada yada. And I still stick to that. I'm super jealous that I'm not able to do it. However, I have been told, and I've started to realize that even though I work in the like, whether you like it or not, I work in the entertainment business. Like I don't see my music. like as sole entertainment, but it is what it. That's the hard fact. It is the entertainment business, and I'm okay with that. When you have been working in the hospital for 10 hours and you need to be able to relax and maybe just sit down in front of the couch and see some shitty show or just get your mind off real life. We're getting back to the escapism part of the whole thing. Or listen to music when your life, and I mean, it is unreal as a musician to just write songs and just try to just write good songs, and then you get the response like, oh yeah, you guys changed my life, yada yada yada. I mean, more than once, twice, 10 times. Like a lot of, it's not uncommon that people say, I had a really rough year, blah blah blah, but you guys helped me through it. That's not unimportant. So I try to take pride in that we are giving something to the world. I'm not sure how art kill people. I am of the opinion that, well, art is a form, it's a translation of somebody's intention, and depending on the intention, the art can definitely have consequences. Ideas spawns actions, and actions can hurt people. So yeah, I mean, of course, there's art that is dangerous. But art doesn't kill people. It's fucking idiots that kill people, or that force people to kill. Anyway, I don't think art in itself should be free, for sure. Yeah, I think I'll stop that. Again, I'm just babbling around. It's hard to relate to that question, but yeah, it's yeah, that's my take on that. Okay, fifth question, 5. How to destroy Russia as a monster? What to do with it? Oh yeah, that big one. Okay, from as a person that have grown up in Röbäck, which is a village just outside of Umeå, where I currently live, and where last time Sweden was at the war in 1809, we were invaded by the Russians just 30 kilometers north of here. I don't know. It seemed to be in that nation's DNA to invade and dominate other countries. All I know is I think it was October of 2021, we were asked to play Russia. And I told our agent that, no, we're not going to do that. And in fact, we're never coming back. And now I can't come back, even if I wanted to, which of course, I don't want to. Because last time we played Russia, I think the last time was 2014. I'm not 100% sure, but one thing that I do remember is that we were scheduled to play Kiev. But that was during the Maidan protests, and if I remember correctly, the Maidan protest kind of started in November, I think, of 2013, and we were like, there were some violent protests going on. Should we do the show? Shouldn't do the show? We said like, yeah, I mean, of course, people in Ukraine, they have their other things to think of than some stupid metal show, but let's just do the show that was scheduled. And if this is my memory, I might get it wrong, but this is my memory. In that case, my memory is wrong. I think we were supposed to play on a Sunday, and on the Thursday, that was a day with the big massacre of 100 people getting shot by snipers and all that, and that's so we canceled that show. So we played only St. Petersburg and Moscow, and during that show, I told our light designer, I never talk after shows, and I never do. Like, we just play our show and we get off the stage. But that was, I think the Duma had just passed an anti-LGBT law, and I told our light designer to after the show just put on the fucking rainbow behind me, and I said to the audience that, I understand things can be very sensitive and all that, but I said that I hope that you guys can be a positive change for your country, so my gay friends will feel as welcome as we felt during our stay there. And things didn't go that well after that. And now I just read that the Duma had passed a new law in Russia where siding with the LGBTQ community is terrorism. So I am a terrorist in Russia, apparently. So yeah, even if I wanted to, my relationship with Russia is quite complicated. But yes, I understand who I'm talking to and the situation where you're in, and I'm following the Ukrainian situation on a daily basis, both on the front line and the bigger picture of what's going on in the Congress in the US and EU and support and all that. And I don't know what we should do with Russia. I've tried to think of it like up until 1917, their star was basically God, appointed by God. So there was no it was like Japan before 1945. It was a monarchy with divine authority, and what you get is a population that get used to the idea of the individual is not important. After that, you get communism, where basically you don't have any gods, but you have the leaders that are as close to gods as it possibly can, with the cult of Lenin and Stalin and all the leaders. And then all of a sudden, from one day to the next, they're supposed to have free thought and free ideas and free economy and all that. And we see how that worked out. So again, I'm just gonna say that I am a stupid musician. I am too unintelligent to have an answer what to do with Russia and how they can change. I don't see any positive change. Again, same thing happened to us in 1809. That was not the first war. You just ask the Finns, for crying out loud, that got invaded in the beginning of World War II. And it's always the same fucking story, and they need to end. And I've kind of given up on the idealistic idea of sooner or later we're all going to be friends in the world. We're going to sing Kumbaya and all that. I think that some conflicts, you just have to be stronger than your opponent and keep them in check. I would love the idea of having a Russia that would be a part of the civilized world. I don't see it happening. And they had, I wouldn't say they had every chance in the world in the 90s because they got fucked over by laissez-faire capitalism. But I had a shot and see where we ended up. See where you guys ended up. It's a fucked up situation, and I don't know what to do with them. All I know is that they need to be thrown out of Ukraine, which border they agreed with. So that's not even a fucking issue anymore. It is an issue now, but it shouldn't be. So the answer is I don't know. Again, I have no idea what to do with the monster that Russia is today. And I just hope that the Western countries will provide you with all the weapons you need to throw all the invaders out. And after that, I can't see any situation after that, but I guess we'll just take it as it goes. Okay, next question. Question 6. Ukrainian flag at concerts. Will you continue place it on stage? So yeah, for you who watching this and don't know, I played with the Ukrainian flag on my amp on the European tour. Actually, I was planning on doing it on another European tour, but I forgot the flag at home. First off, I need to get a new flag. It's just outside of my my balcony here when I don't have it on on stage, and since we have the sun shining on it during the whole day, the gel is getting too bleached, so I need to get a new one. And I can also tell you that my mom, which is an amazing woman, she has the Ukrainian flag on her house. And at some point, somebody pulled it down and stole it. So what they did, they got another one and they put it even higher. So now now they can't get it off. First off, I'm not a big fan of nation states at all. I'm against, as a principle, I'm against nationalism, and I think nationalism always gets us in trouble. However, the Ukrainian flag on the amp and the Ukrainian flag on outside here is not a support of Ukrainian nationalism. It's a support for the Ukrainian nation, and I want to make sure that it's very clear in this apolitical metal scene, sometimes, not always, but that this is a very simple conflict to see who's the bad guy and good guy. Most conflicts in the world are very complicated, and sometimes you don't have sometimes it's two bad guys fighting each other, and always there's the population that get in between. It's hard to take a side of one part in the conflict. However, this is so fucking simple. We have one country that got invaded by a second country, and I understand the backstory. Look, I'm not an idiot because I got a lot of flack for that. People just well, I'm an idiot, but I'm not that big of an idiot. I understand that there is some ethnic tensions in the eastern Ukraine and all that. fine, absolutely. I'm 100% sure of that. And I'm 100% sure that maybe the Ukrainian state haven't done their best or haven't done enough for the Russian minority. I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Right now, we have one nation trying to invade and dominate not only Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine is a country where they have troops and they need to get thrown out, 100%. But you can see it in the other old Soviet state where Russia is trying to get this Russian world working for them. There's a lot of, I mean, I could talk for ages about the philosophical ideas behind the Russian world, or like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it in Russian, with the philosophy of Alexander Dugin and all that bullshit. It's very simple for me. I want the audience to see that I support Ukraine in the war against Russia. It's not more than that. We got in some trouble. We got into some conflict with a few venues that some external, at one place in Vienna, for example, this external help, they pulled down the flag, and I was going down ready to fucking fight them with my fists and cancel the show if that flag didn't stay up. Let's just say it stayed up. I need to get another flag if I'm going to do this again. So thank you for reminding me. I will try to. I have a bad memory, but I will try to remember to do it in this summer tour with Julie. Because this flag outside here is seen its best days. So yeah, hopefully we'll continue until this war ends. Question 7. What would you say to Ukrainians now? Yep. I don't know. I to be honest, I don't feel like I don't have anything to say. I would rather listen, to be quite honest. I cannot imagine, like, reading up on, like, today 70 people got killed in, I can't remember the name of the city, by a Russian rocket bombs, glide bombs. I cannot even remember. I can not even imagine how it is to live in those situations. I can tell one story. I was going down to Stockholm. I was taking the night train, and I got to my car, and I saw that some fucker had stolen my seat. Or stole my bed. Like, fuck. It happens every now and then. Like, I go down to Stockholm every night and take the night train all the time, and it happens every now and then. Like, fuck, I don't have time for this. It turned out it was a family. It was a mother and her 3 kids. And she was Ukrainian. And like, oh, okay, I understand. You don't understand how the seatings are. Okay, so I was sitting there talking to her, and all these 3 kids, 2 of them were in my kids' age. And she told me about, she was from Kharkiv. And she told me about how the rockets flew over her house, and how they rushed to the train station, and it was full of people, and they just tried to squeeze all people on these carts. And then she went to Poland, and yeah, blah, blah, came to Sweden. And how she lost her daughter 3 times, her oldest daughter, which is the same age as my daughter, 11. And how she, during this travel with a train packed full of people, lost her daughter in the crowd. I mean, and then she was sitting right there, so I knew things turned out well, but still, like, it was hard. Well, hard. I couldn't help myself crying. It's like that panic. I cannot, like, I understand that I don't understand. To live over 2 years of the constant risk of being bombed and getting killed and having people getting killed, and All I can say is that one positive thing, that's right here, and positive, is that one thing, despite all the horrors I've seen and I see daily with the footage from the front lines and all that, you have a very beautiful country. And when this war is over, I will, without a doubt, with the band or without the band, visit you and see it firsthand. Okay, last question. What is hope for you? Oh. Since I'm not that super positive person, it's not much. I guess it's expecting the unrealistic. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that's the worst answer I have for all these questions, and it's a bad way of ending the whole interview. But thank you very much for the questions, and Slava Ukraini, for fuck's sake, Herem Slava. I guess I butchered those words in Ukrainian, but yeah, I guess you see that it came from with the best intentions. Anyway, cheers from Mimia.